Welcome to episode 77 of the Hard Truth About B2B e-commerce. I'm your co-host Isaiah Bollinger, and I'm back with Tim right after the holiday weekend.
Hey Isaiah, it is great to be here. I'm Timothy Peterson. I just had my birthday yesterday. I was celebrating all day, so had a blast. It was really a lot of fun. I actually bumped into a listener for the podcast, which is unbelievable. That don't get to see too many people in person who are listeners, but I'm going to give.
What happens when you get famous now? People are just going to like recognize you on the streets, and
it's almost like that. People are racing after me down the street for autographs and selfies.
I have noticed our traffic really spiked recently. I don't know what it is. Maybe one of the recent episodes, or it is so something's working, and I don't know why it just happened recently. But
it's the power of our personality, and it's the great guests that we have. So I think that's part of it. But I'm going to continue our tradition of shout outs. I have a few extra people to mention. Sal Conca, who I've worked with in the past, is an avid listener. And I'm going to mention 4 guys. I have their names here in front of me. Their whole office listens to our podcast. I want to tell you this. They put it on during some meeting, and they realized that they were learning a lot from it. So it's a company called Man-Made up in Montreal. They make men's apparel. They're making soaps and other things coming up. Anthony Ciavarella, Robert Marzin, Phil Santagata, and Berto Ribello. So I'm going to thank those guys for telling me that they all listen. And, it's great to hear. I couldn't be happier. So I'm glad that it's relevant to them and their business, and to so many other listeners. So big shout out to everyone, and continue telling us what you're up to, folks. We really want to hear from you. Very happy about that. So I'm going to quickly move ahead. Let me pause so that we can insert our ads from our sponsors, and then I'm going to throw it back to Isaiah. Our first sponsor is Punch Out To Go. Punch Out To Go is a global B2B integration company specializing in connecting commerce business platforms with e-procurement and ERP applications. Punch Out To Go's iPaaS technology seamlessly links business applications to automate the flow of purchasing data. With their solution, you can immediately reduce integration complexities for punch-out catalogs, electronic purchase orders, invoices, and other B2B sales order automation documents in order to accelerate business results. Balance is our other sponsor. Balance is a B2B e-commerce payment solution that works well for you and your buyers. It offers a seamless one-click checkout for almost any payment method, including ACH, wire, checks, cards, even terms. It's used by leaders in B2B e-commerce, and it's as easy as buying a shirt from Amazon. Check them out at getbalance.com, book a session, and tell them what your needs are. They are the first dedicated payment platform for B2B e-commerce, 100% tailored to your needs. Thanks again to our sponsor, Balance. I hope you have heard some great things about our sponsors there. And now, Isaiah, could you please introduce our guests? I'm really excited about today's episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk with you, Jaime. I don't want to butcher your last name, but is it Zabeta or Zabita, or how do you say your last name? So I don't.
Zabidi.
Zabidi. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's there's an Italian descent there, or is
Jewish kind of last name. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Israel. Yeah.
People always ask.
I just say Z.
My last name is Bollinger. My dad's not Jewish. My mom's Jewish, so I don't get the Jewish last name. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Even the first name is hard, Jaime. So I tell people, like when I go to Starbucks, I tell them Jamie.
Exactly.
Make it easy for people. Yeah.
Yeah. They always ask me how to spell Isaiah, and I just say, don't worry, just as long as you can say it and get me the coffee. Like what? I don't care how you spell it, because I don't want. It's gonna take 5 minutes for you to write it down, and Exactly. But yeah, Jaime, thanks so much for coming. Really impressive, the work that you do. I mean, it's almost kind of unbelievable. Is it just you? Are you the whole? It looks like you're doing millions and millions of dollars through Amazon with your clients. And do you have a team, or tell us about how you got to where you are, because it's very impressive.
So I do have a team. I have a team of 3 people in-house, and then I have 6, 7 VAs that, you know, we're talking daily. And
so that's
yeah,
the secret. There's people behind the scenes. It's not just you.
Oh no, I need people, of course. Like, I'm looking at data all day and working all day and all night, but I still need people to, you know, to be there for me. You can't run a one-man show, but it's great. I've been doing this for over 12 years on Amazon alone. Like, it's like the only thing I really know is Amazon. You know, I never did wholesale and retail, like just Amazon. And there's a lot of companies that, you know, that I built up listings, like individual listings that are doing over $1 million a year, just one product.
Wow.
And on Amazon, it's just always constant reordering, and you know, the longer you're in stock, the stronger it gets. So I love Amazon. It's, you know.
So what got you into it? Tell us how you kind of got started, and, you know, obviously a little bit more about where you are now.
So when I started, I had a job for a little bit in retail, and for like very little, and I was managing a few stores, and I didn't like retail. I was driving to Harlem and the Bronx and Queens every day, managing a few different stores of clothing. And then I said, you know what, I want to try online. And I got some goods from them. I got merchandise, and I put it up online on a website, on eBay and on Amazon. And they were all selling, but I saw Amazon was just like, it caught on fire. It was doing unbelievable. So I started buying more merchandise, and I would send it into Amazon to FBA for me. You know, they would stock the goods and they would ship it out for me. And it just kept growing and growing. And I tried maybe 10 different styles, but 3 of them were really like my money makers. And like, I was living off those 3 styles for years. That's how I bought my house. I put my kids through school. Like, that's how, like, I lived off just 3 styles, just constantly, you know, just resending it into Amazon, letting them ship it out, and just, you know, just get stronger and stronger.
And then how did you? So now you work with clients. So what made you say, all right, well, I should probably help people? Is that what is there?
So I was sending in goods, and I was doing great, and then I got burned a few times. I didn't know sourcing. You know, like I said, the only thing I did besides for Amazon was a little retail, but I never worked with suppliers in China and things like that. So I bought a container of one style for like $20,000-$30,000, and it was leggings, and it came in smelling like fish. And I was like I just got burned. Like, I didn't realize you have to do quality control and things like that, and negotiating. And then I tried it with another style, and then the sizing was off on my second container, and I was like, wow, this is not good. I just, you know, I can't. This is not. I'm very good at Amazon. I know how to get my items shown to the whole world, and I know the algorithm, but I don't know sourcing and dealing with the manufacturer.
Hey, I'm not a manufacturer. I'm not a.
Yeah.
That's not where I should be spending my time, right? Yeah.
Let me focus on what I'm good at. So I started working with people. There's so many people out there that they have an abundance of merchandise, wholesalers and manufacturers, and they don't know how to make it move on Amazon. You know, they'll throw things up and they think it'll just sell by itself. So I'm like, wow, I know how to get it to sell.
Build it and it'll come. The whole build it and it'll come. It never comes, right?
No. They start getting storage fees like that. They get burned in the end if they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and so to your point, yeah, I mean, I think most businesses, if you can help them sell more, they'll get the product out there, right? So most of these businesses, they're already getting the product. They need more sales. Right?
Yeah, I brought a company a few years ago from 2 to 24 million in only a 2-year span.
Wow.
And yeah, and like they were bringing in goods, they just didn't know what they were doing. Like, we could go into it an hour later, but like, they were letting things sell out, for example, and then they were reordering it a month or 2 later. But like, when Amazon sees that you sell out, it's like, imagine you're supplying somebody and they're buying from you, and then all of a sudden they want to buy more, and you tell them, oh, I don't have it. And like, they get upset.
I'll find another supplier.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you lose that momentum. But if you could constantly feed them goods, they love you and they just show you to more and more people, like it multiplies. So there's so many different tips and things like that, but that was just one of the biggest things that, they were going to sell out. I said, air it in. And they said, oh, if we air it in, we'll break even. I said, air it in. You'll have a month where you break even, but you'll be able to live off this style for years. And they did that, and it just exploded,
they didn't the future value of that.
Yeah.
Almost like I think where people kind of don't realize is it's almost an investment. These things, these digital, like SEO, right, is a good example. Like having a ranking, it takes work, and if you lose these things, your listings, your reviews. Like I have more stories of people getting delisted. It doesn't, whether it's Amazon or other platforms, like that's like the word. That can like kill your business, right? That's like your business is this like reputation almost on these platforms, right?
Yeah, you lose sleep over it. If something happens to the listing, maybe like you have a bunch of different variations, and let's say it got separated, which sometimes it happens. The guys won't sleep. They'll try for hours and hours, like my whole team will be like, we're freaking out. We need to get this fixed right away. Cause like Amazon's run by like bots. So like sometimes just, things happen and like you got to put it back together right away because it's all the momentum.
So a couple questions to try and like zero in a little bit. So you work B2C and B2B, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so the B2B, you said it's wholesalers, distributors, that sort of thing. Could you give us like, you don't have to name them, but could you give us like a category, a case study kind of thing? Just go through a little bit about the details on one of the B2B companies you work with.
So like I have a few B2B companies, like one guy, he sells tin foil and pallet wrap and garbage bags, like bulk garbage bags. He makes a killing off that. And then I have another guy who sells bulk nuts, just 25, 50 pound, 100-pound nuts. And like, and just, And people, they buy it and they'll just, they'll stock it.
I want to order that on Prime Day. I want to order one 100-pound nut.
Businesses are the best, right? Sometimes I think people overcomplicate things. It's like, you could become a millionaire selling bulk garbage bags, right? Like you don't need to, invent Facebook to become a millionaire, right? Like
everybody needs garbage bags, especially every business needs garbage bags. So they're going to buy it on some trusted website like Amazon, and especially they have it on reorder, like constant reorder. And then what's another,
What do you think? Do you think that the Amazon effect, it's more about convenience than price? Like how important is price? Or do you think it's more about trust and convenience? And do you notice people are willing to pay more if they think it's a better vendor, or especially from a B2B perspective? I'm just curious, like how much is price the factor in these B2B?
So price makes a difference, but a lot of times you'll find things on Amazon that are not the cheapest, like you can find them cheaper elsewhere. It depends. Sometimes you'll find it depends on really the competition. Like the competition, if the people you're going against who are also B2B are selling it at a very low margin and you want to compete with them, you got to kind of be close to their price. You can't be much higher than them. And it depends on a few things. Maybe you have a better product, or maybe you have better reviews and you can go up a little bit more in price. But usually if it's the same product, you got to be in that range, because it's like you're all on the same shelf, like you're in the same store. So like right next to them, they see you. So you got to stay in that price range. But there's a lot of things that are more expensive on Amazon than you can find it elsewhere. But people just like to buy it on Amazon because it's easy. They have an Amazon account. It's trusted. A lot of times things are more expensive on Amazon, but you just buy it there because you're going to get it. It's going to be. It's not going to be complicated. They're not going to steal your credit card. You just know it's.
Or a big part of it. I mean, a big thing for us is on the B2B side. We already have all of our information, right? I mean, I think people underestimate the value of having an account. That takes time, and if I have to order 20 different things from 20 different accounts and create 20 accounts, that as a buyer in B2B, that's going to like take way too much time, just to save $5 here and there, right? Like I think the savings have to be like significant for you to kind of go out of your way, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's so easy like that. You want to buy a bunch of different things. Like you said, you go on business.amazon.com and you just search. I want garbage bags. I want tin foil. I want any type of thing. I want bulk tape. I want whatever you
Yeah.
need.
I can
Poly
imagine
bags.
restaurants, right? Like a small restaurant, you know, they need a lot of garbage bags, a lot of tin
Yeah.
foil.
Yeah, and there's also other things. I have a client who has shopping bags, and all different types of shopping bags, paper bags, and little gift bags, and just all bags. There's everyone can sell. There's a market for everything on Amazon, and it's great with the business because you could, first of all, you could set up tier pricing. Like you can set it up from the beginning. If they buy 20, or if they buy 50, or if they buy 100, they get it for this price and this price and this price. And also you can have them request, like, okay, they want to buy 200 from you, or they want to buy 1,000 from you, and you get a message and you give them a price. It's like,
Interesting.
So are there things that you tell your clients not to sell on Amazon? Because that's a conversation I've had with a number of people I've worked with. So, if they have 10,000 SKUs, are there things that you don't want them to sell on Amazon, or you don't think it's worth it?
so of course, there are definitely things that are not good for Amazon, just because, not that they're not good, there's people making money on it, but it's just very competitive. And it just might cost a lot of money to get into that field. So it depends on the person. If the person has tens of thousands of units of an item and he wants to invest into the listing and he knows that this is my business, then okay, let's do it. But if he has so many different items, if he has 100 or 1,000 items to choose from, and we can find 20 of them that are home runs, and we know that they'll sell instantly because there's a need for it on Amazon, go with the easy ones first, where you don't have to invest thousands of dollars to build it up. And because it's really, some items you'll see everyone on the main page with thousands of reviews, or they're very, very cheap, and like maybe you don't want to sell it that cheap, and
You're just not going to
that's
be
the price it's going for.
So it's almost like, because it's so competitive, what you really need to do is figure out where you're going to succeed, right? And that might be 1 or 2 or 10 SKUs, but it might not be all your SKUs, is kind of the way that you approach it.
Yeah, it's usually not all the SKUs. If you do too many SKUs in the beginning, also it's very hard to focus on them, and it's you get most of your money from like the home runs. It's the 80-20 rule. Like there's and then you expand on it, but you can't just really list everything unless you have a whole. You could list everything, but you wouldn't want to really invest too much into it if
Gotcha.
you're not going to be able to pay attention to everything.
Is they're like, oh, we listed all our products, it's not selling, because they haven't really put thought into it. They list everything, they just assume it's going to sell, and it doesn't sell because they're not really focused on those home runs.
Yeah, like you have to do a lot of keyword research. You have to do a lot of pricing research. You have to make sure your images are nice. You have to make sure that any type of details that the buyer would need to know are in the description. And if you're doing so many at once, you'll probably forget some of those. You're just going to rush through it to get it all listed instead of making sure that it's perfect.
Yeah.
So even in B2B, do you recommend like 6 images of a product in a short video? Or, in B2C, it's very, very common to, I mean, I've worked with a lot of companies doing stuff on Amazon too, and if it's jewelry, it's like every single angle and the person holding it. Do you recommend this kind of thing for a lot of B2B products as well, or no?
Listen, I don't think you need to have a video, but definitely you want to have some nice images, because they want to see on Amazon, they want to know the quality of the product, and it's very hard for them to tell the quality of the product. They can really only tell it from looking at the image. It has to be like a very nice image that shows, wow, I could see the thickness in the bag from this, or I could see how clear the poly bag. Like it has to be like a nice image. But you don't have to go crazy with it. You're not selling jewelry,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that that is and that's one of the things where I think B2B has failed, right? Is a lot of B2B companies, especially when you get into these like large manufacturers, distributors, they've never had to have good product data, right? Because they bought all their sales or email, phone, or so they've never had to build this like Amazon level listing with like the level that you see in B2C, right? That's
It's a lot goes into it. You know, you have to make sure that if you don't give them the right info, you leave things out, you'll probably get returns. You probably, you know what I mean? They're not, oh, you didn't say it didn't have this, or, you know, if you're selling poly bags, you have to tell them, does it have a suffocation warning label on it? You know, you should have a picture that shows that label. You should tell them, is it adhesive or is it not? Like you have to be very descriptive with what's going on. So minimize the returns and they could find exactly what they're looking for.
So you really do end to end, like you have people who will write the product descriptions, people who will assist with the product images, people who will do all of this?
Yes. So I personally, I look into the competitors and I come up with the perfect title. Everything has to be in a specific order on Amazon. The best keywords first. You shouldn't go past a certain character length. It depends on the product, you know. The keywords in the back end, you're supposed to fill in keywords. They give you 249 characters, bytes. If you go past that by one dot, the whole thing that wipes out. It doesn't count, you know. So like, there's a lot of things that you got to be very careful about. So I do the listing optimization. I make sure it's perfect. I track the organic keywords because all the sales really most of the sales come from when somebody types in what they're looking for on Amazon, you know, not really. Some people browse by category and go into the subcategory like that, but a lot of people type in what they're looking for. So you want to make sure that you're showing up on top. So
like
that's something
that tags, right? You know, yeah, they're not gonna. They might not type in the exact SKU, but they'll type in the product name.
What you're looking for, whatever you're looking for, you know, looking for thumbtacks. I'm looking whatever you're looking for. You have to make sure that you're showing up because that's like where you get all.
How much of the algorithm is constantly changing? Like, is it almost kind of like? I mean, you hear a lot about this with Facebook and Google. Like the algorithm, like SEO algorithm changes, and the SEO people are always like, you know, updating their strategy and changing their. You know, and same thing with Facebook with the iOS. Do you feel like the algorithm and the machine, like you said, like the bot side, like they can just cancel your account, right? It could be an automated bot. How much of that is like impacting all of this?
So there's definitely changes that they make. Like sometimes they'll send out notifications. We need to, like they sent out a notification, you need to take HTML out of your description, or you need to make sure that you have the color name in the title. Like they'll tell you things beforehand that you just got to change around. But really, the SEO strategy hasn't really changed. Like since I've been doing this, it's really the same strategy. Obviously, like certain things change, like the way you have to do it, but it's like the same basics of getting your product ranked and sending the traffic to the listing. And Amazon needs to see conversions, and then when they see conversions, they'll show you more. And like, let's say you send traffic to a certain keyword, or you do ads on a certain keyword, like we'll go back to garbage bags. If you convert on the word garbage bags, they're going to show you not for the PPC, they're going to show you organically. So that the organic rank, they're going to show you without having to pay for it on the page. And then every time you get another sale, they're going to show you higher and higher on the page. And then they're also going to say, you know what, this guy is selling well for garbage bags. Let's also show him more for the word garbage bag and black garbage bag and plastic garbage bag. And then they see what else catches. And then the more things that you get conversions on and sales on, everything just goes higher and higher up. And then it's a snowball effect, they call it. It just keeps growing and growing. You just got to not run out of stock.
So how involved are you with Amazon humans directly? Because I found that in a few of the companies I work with, there was one that was selling $2 million a month on Amazon, you know, with a short list of their SKUs, and Amazon was very involved. You know, I flew out to Seattle, I met with these people multiple times. I mean, it was a back and forth. How involved are you with Amazon folks helping any particular client, or you in general?
So a few of my clients have what is it called, managers that they have to pay a percentage and a fee to. Mm-hmm. And if there's ever any issues, you know, they'll help, because if not, it's very hard to really get help if there's something wrong with your listing, or let's say you're trying to change something and it won't let you change it for some reason. Like sometimes you'll try to change the title months later after you created it, and they're like, no, there's no reason for you to change the title. Why would it's the same item? But maybe you made a mistake or you need to change something and it's very difficult to do. And like, they just send you a canned email response most of the time, and they don't tell you, they don't help you. Or so when you have somebody you can speak to, it's definitely helpful. But they charge you for that. So not everyone likes to do it.
No, I mean, you are clearly the expert in this, but there are people who aren't charged for that. I mean, one of the circumstances I know is, I mean, the quick answer that I know of is that when they're not charged, it's because Amazon, it's a category that Amazon doesn't really have a lot of people in, and they want you to make stuff for them so that it fills up. And so
like the Launchpad?
Yeah.
Like
That Launchpad and other programs as well.
So yeah, it depends on the category. Most of my people don't have an account person like directly. Maybe two people do. And they're happy with him. And if we ever have an issue, we reach out and we can set up a call, and it's nice. But if we don't have it, it's still, we get whatever we need to get done. We don't, we got it through the regular customer service.
Do you get a lot of people that are concerned about Amazon? I mean, you hear this all the time, like, hey, get all my business on Amazon, and next thing you know, I'm like so reliant on them, and then their whole business is running through Amazon. Or especially feel like this is a concern that a lot of B2B companies have. You see this, that a lot of B2B companies don't want to list on Amazon, and they're afraid to give up the margin or whatever it is. Is that something that you've run across, or you feel like there's a way to kind of get through that?
Listen, I would definitely recommend doing Amazon and selling on Amazon, just because there's so many people that love to shop on Amazon, and they might not want to go buy from wherever else you're selling it. But I would definitely not recommend that somebody only does Amazon, because I know a seller who was doing over $100 million a year in sales, top seller, and he got suspended. And Amazon, they don't care. He got back on later on, but it took a long time, and he
lost a lot of momentum.
Yeah, a lot of momentum.
You're allowed to tell us why, or is it a good lesson learned, or was it
Yeah, they were doing some things with fake reviews, which I never recommend that anyone should ever do. You don't mess around with reviews on Amazon. That's what they're looking for.
Don't do fake reviews. If there's one thing
never
this podcast.
Never. Don't ask.
So they got caught. They got caught for the fake reviews, basically.
They got caught for fake reviews, and doesn't matter how much you're doing, they'll kick you off, because if the next guy will come up and he's selling a very similar product, and they don't feel it. They're still making money.
You would recommend, everyone should consider selling on Amazon, because it's arguably the biggest, or second. I mean, technically, I think Walmart's still a little bigger, but it's probably a year or two now, and Amazon will be bigger than Walmart. So it's going to be pretty much the biggest retail channel. But at the same time, there's no reason to not keep selling in other ways and other channels.
Yeah, you should be on Walmart. You should be on Amazon. You should have your own website. Why wouldn't you hit up all channels?
Omni-channel, multi-channel. And I think, to your point, it's really about spending the energy smartly, right? Spend that smart energy on a couple products on Amazon. Maybe that's a different strategy on your website. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'll have to pick these smart battles, because if you try and do everything well, most companies can't afford to do everything well. That's one thing I've learned, is like, you probably can't afford to do amazing Facebook ads, Google ads, Amazon ads, like all these different channels super well. You have to kind of pick some battles. Right?
Exactly. It's hard enough for some people to afford to just launch 10 items, so the guy wants to launch 100 items. You don't have that type of budget, unless they do, and they want to invest, but they think you could just list it and it'll sell. But no, you have to advertise all different ways, and you have to have beautiful pictures, and you got to make sure that you're looking at all the data, and it all takes time.
So can you get into the details on that a little bit? I mean, we're recording this right before Prime Day. So for example, tell us what you've recommended to, clients for Prime Day, what they did, what kinds of things they spent money on.
So is this going before Prime Day or after Prime Day?
We're recording it now before Prime Day, but it'll be released after Prime Day.
Yeah. So Prime Day's over now, I guess, when they're watching this, but I hope
for next year.
Everybody,
for next year.
Next year.
Or the holidays,
I hope that everybody set up Prime exclusive deals, which are available. Amazon gives you an ability to do that, and you'll get a badge. And also there's 7-day deals and lightning deals in the Prime Day period that you can set up, because a lot of people, when they go to Amazon on Prime Day, they're going to click the button deals, you know, they're going to say, what's Prime
That's
Day?
what I do. That's what
I
I
want to
do.
see what's going on today.
That's the only time I'll actually like shop Amazon. Like no, every other time I know what I'm getting, but that's the one time where I'm like, let's just see there's something worth getting. There's a good deal.
Yeah. And you always, you know, right now, since there's such a large amount of people coming to Amazon shopping, you want to push your ads, raise all your budgets. You want to really go full force. Now is the time where everybody's on Amazon for those 2 days. Use up, you know, you should raise all your daily budgets on your advertising. If they're doing good, if they're not doing bad, don't raise it. So you just raise the money.
Do you recommend that this is a time for people to kind of get really aggressive with margins? And do you see it as almost like more of an investment in the listing? Let's say like, even if they got closer to break even and they got more sales, then they get more reviews, and then they're going to get more future sales at a better margin once they obviously they won't do the deal forever. But
it depends where they're at. Listen, if they're doing a Prime Day deal, they're already giving. If they're doing a Prime exclusive deal, they're already doing 20% off. Like they're already giving a big discount. So if they wanted to like lower their price more to build up momentum, that's definitely a good strategy, because every sale counts. Like Amazon's algorithm sees a conversion, and it's like a point. You know, like it's like, imagine it's a video game. You're getting more and more points, and it's just
that's kind of what
winning.
I'm saying. It's like you're not doing it for the profit of that deal. You're doing it to build the algorithm for the future, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also some people, they need to profit right now. You know, they've been building it up the whole time, and now this is the time to make the money. So it depends on the
maybe
person.
for a new seller, right? If you're new, that could be a good strategy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
First year, and you know that it's going to take a few years to really get more profitable on this. That could maybe work for you, right?
For sure. No, definitely that momentum will shoot you right up. It's like running a deal, you know, running a 7-day deal or lightning deal. You add a cheaper price, you may be at a very low margin, but all those conversions are boosting up your keywords. You know, like let's say you're showing up for a word right now in the middle of the page, and then you run a deal, and then everyone who searches that word, they're on the page and they see you in the middle of the page with a little badge that there's a deal going on, and they're going to buy from you. And then you're going to go up the next day. Now you're going to be higher up because you got so many sales, because people saw, when they searched for that word, they saw you had a little badge that you have a 7-day deal or a lightning deal right now, and they wanted to buy from you because of that. It brought them to buying from your listing, and then it just raised up your keywords. So now, you know, it just gets up on a higher and a higher level. And so it's like the momentum. It definitely builds momentum.
So what about off-platform advertising? I've talked with some folks about that. So, you know, I'm doing, let's say it's the 80-20 rule you said before. Let's say 20% my best products are on Amazon, and I'm promoting in the platform. What sort of off-platform programs do you talk to people about to shoot people to the platform? You know, what do you do?
So there's a few things you could do. First of all, if somebody has an email list, email lists are great for, first of all, launching new products. You know, you can launch a new product right away on Amazon. And in the beginning, you know, it's called the honeymoon period. It's when the first few months, Amazon is basically judging you very closely how you're doing. And if you can tell people, we just have our go on Amazon, here's our new product, it's at a reduced rate for 1 week or whatever, and you have people go buy, Amazon sees there's so much traffic there, and then they say, wow, this is a great item that was just listed on our website. Now we want to show it a lot more. So like that's one way, emails. And then another thing you could do is like influencer marketing. You could have people, you know, like we make videos on YouTube, and it's just all those things are great.
Instagram and YouTube, and drive them to the deal, or
yeah. All traffic helps. Amazon loves external traffic. You know, they love traffic coming from Google and from anywhere they can get it. But also, I always tell people on Amazon, like Amazon directly, I don't love spending money on the ads, but those people are ready to buy. You know what I mean? So like you're targeting them right when they're ready to buy. So that definitely should have a nice budget for Amazon sponsored ads also.
What do you recommend for B2B companies? Like we talked about this a bit earlier. Do you think they're underestimating the because we both agreed before the podcast, we both buy things, but we might not be registered as a business account. So I wonder, how much business do you think is going through Amazon that really is a small contractor, small business? It's got to be pretty high, right?
I actually pulled up the stats right before this. In 2017, they said 10 billion in sales for Amazon business, and now last year was 25 billion. So
that's just Amazon business, right?
That's just Amazon business. That's not including people like me that they just shop from their regular personal account and just buy things without the discounts,
Yeah,
so
a lot
even
of
more.
people are sole proprietorships, right? And so if you're sole proprietorship, I mean, you can buy it and expense it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just yourself as the business, right? So my guess is that
Sure.
a big chunk of Amazon sales, it's not, there's probably a hard,
There's definitely,
yeah.
Definitely unaccounted for. There's definitely more,
Yeah.
but it's growing. So you could, even just from what they're reporting, you can see that it's growing very quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's only a few years, 6 years old, maybe, the B2B.
I think I heard that it was like at one point the fastest growing segment. Maybe that was
I've heard that. So I would hope for your sake it is. That would be actually really great. But yeah, I think it is. So I have another question again. I'm asking a lot of these things based on folks I've worked with in recent years. So I've worked with some folks who sell on Amazon, but they're considered, I can't remember the term Amazon uses, but they're like heavily monitored categories. So they're either products for children, products that for adult products, health and wellness, vaping accessories, CBD related stuff that you can have that's legal and that Amazon does accept. Are you working with people in any of those heavily monitored categories, and how do you make sure that they don't get in trouble for what they're trying to sell on the platform?
So I'm not working with anyone in vaping or adult or any of those. I'm working with some people in children's. They sell children's crib accessories and things like that, and also vitamins and shampoos and things like that. And with the vitamins, there's things, sometimes if you don't put the right stuff in the beginning, they'll tell you like, is this a banned substance? But it's not. They're like, okay, please send us your ingredient list, and please send us a document of where it was sourced from. So like they'll nitpick and ask you for things. But if you have all your documents in order and you don't put any bad words in, you can't promise things. You can't say this is going to relieve joint pain. You can't promise things on Amazon. Like if they don't want promises like that, you can say may, or you can say joint supplement and things like that, but you have to be very careful with your wording and things like that, and you have to make sure that, again, like you have
for that, right? Over promising or saying a false claim. I could imagine that's another way that people get suspended.
Oh yeah, no, and then with the baby things also, you have to have certificates for different things, and that you're safe, and all those categories.
Fake accounts, or the what is it, I feel like that's been a big issue, right? There's been a lot of secondhand or fake products. Are you seeing issues with that?
Counterfeit, you mean? Or that kind of thing?
Or I think there's like fake supplements and fake listings, or I'm not even sure you would call it fake, but it's basically like rip-off versions of products trying to masquerade as the same brand. Have you guys run across that?
So it's not not really. Like I've seen people doing that, but not to anyone that I work with.
Right, so
I've seen people like buying our product from cheaper places, like maybe like they were discounted in places, and then they would add it to our listing and try to sell it at a cheaper price. You know what I mean? And undercut us. Which is not cool.
Things like there's literally like lipstick, or it'll literally be like not real lipstick. Like there's these counterfeit products that Amazon's having a hard time, I think, cracking down on some of them, because
a lot of big brands. So I've worked with fashion brands where they have a lot of this counterfeit issue. For example, like a Gucci, for example, it's very, if something were sold that's legit, then it's very different than the ones who say they're Gucci and they're not. So
Yeah,
Amazon
exactly. If you can,
has
if you
been
can counterfeit those things, you can make a lot of money because you're selling a $10 bag that's trying to pretend it's Gucci for 500 bucks or something. But you haven't come
No,
across.
I've definitely seen that. I've seen that, but like it doesn't really affect me because like most of the time nobody's on our listings. Once a month, maybe you'll get like a random person who tries to come on, and then we'll tell Amazon like this guy is we didn't sell this person. He shouldn't be on our listing. He's selling his own generic brand as our, because we're creating the Amazon listing as our brand under our brand. So somebody else can't just come with their generic shopping bags.
You police, who else is trying to show up under the brand, basically.
Oh yeah, because we invested in the listing, and then if there's two guys there now, this guy's getting half our sales or whatever amount of, we don't want to split the sales with this guy, but he has to create his own listing like we did and build it up the right way.
Are any of these companies you work with selling? So some of these are their own brands, but are some of these resellers or, where it's really competitive because everyone's selling the same product, the same brand?
No, I have maybe one person. I have one person who's a reseller. Most of the people I work with, they're not. They have either exclusives from the brand, exclusives from the brand in certain categories, or they just manufacture under their own brand name and there's nobody else.
So that seems to be a really important factor. I think we had a guest and he does a lot with distributors, and his recommendation to the distributors is that go talk to your manufacturers and get that exclusive deal for Amazon, right? Go, because it's really important to have that kind of almost exclusivity to your point. So that
because you're
100 different listings for the same brand product,
Exactly. Like you're investing, you have to spend money in ads and build up that momentum. And like, for example, if you search on Amazon, Levi's underwear, this is not B2B, but this is just an example. If you search Levi's underwear, I made all those listings. So I work with my client. He has an exclusive for Levi's in the underwear only category. Okay. So we invested a lot of money. In the beginning, we were selling it at a loss. We were losing like $4 a piece. Yeah, because we wanted to build up the momentum. Mm-hmm. And the client was like, "Oh my God, we're losing $3-4 a piece." And I'm like, "I promise it's going to be worth it." And now, like 2 years later, it has maybe 11,000 reviews now, and it's selling 300-400 units a day from the one item. So it's like it built, and obviously we raised our price now. It used to be $14.99, now it's $29.99, sure. $25.99.
That's what's so interesting, I think, about these digital transformations of companies is that it feels like they really do need to make these investments, right? And you may need to take a loss on Amazon listings or your website. I think this could apply to all digital things, right? If you don't have any successful traction there, you're probably going to need to do something to maybe build that initial momentum that maybe initially taking a loss, but eventually growing into it, right? With reviews, and you can raise the price at the time. Is that how you do that? Is that they raise the price over time as they get more trust? How did they make it profitable? I guess, why did they go from negative to positive?
Yeah, so that's a very common practice. I always recommend that we do that. It's because, like I said, the honeymoon period where Amazon, they're basically judging you and they're placing you based on how many sales they see. If they saw that, like if it's an older listing and it's been selling very slow for so long, then every day they're notating, oh, the guy sold 3 units this week, or he sold 10 units, is like very little, and they think it's a loser product. And then it's very hard, even if you start blasting it with ads, or they don't want to give you that, like you let them down so long, they don't want to give you that visibility and move you into like the front of the store. They're going to keep you in the back. But if you start off your product and show Amazon there's a lot of sales and a lot of conversions, then they say, wow, this product is moving like crazy. Why are we only showing it to 10,000 people? Let's show it to 100,000 people, and it keeps building. So that's why when you start off at a very low price in the beginning, even if it's at a break even or a low margin, or even sometimes a loss, you're getting all those sales. It's going to build up all that momentum and get you indexed and ranked in Amazon's pages for all those words. And also you're getting, since you're at such a low price and you're ranking up all these sales, you're also getting all reviews. Because imagine if you start to sell a product at a 30% margin and you're selling 50 units for that month. Okay, at the end of the month, you walk away with 4 or 5 reviews. But imagine you can sell 1,000 or 2,000 units at a break even, but now you're going to have a lot more reviews at the end of that month. And then all your ads are going to do much better, because the other way, you're like every month going forward, okay, we're getting 5 reviews a month. After 2 months, we have 10 reviews, and then your ads are going to convert not the same as if, okay, after 2 months you had 100 or 200 or 300 reviews. So once you get those reviews and you start building up the momentum, you start to increase the price a little bit. Okay, let me raise it $1 this week. Okay, the next week I'm going to raise it another $1. And you keep raising the price until you find your sweet spot.
So it's funny, we do that with Airbnb. So my wife runs an Airbnb business, and I help her. She does most of the work, but yeah, we haven't had a new listing in a while. But when we did have the new listings, yeah, you start with a low price. You have the honeymoon period, and it takes a while for the listing to raise the price. Or we actually have kind of an algorithmic pricing model, but there's like software you can use for that. But you can tell like it gets better as the reviews go up. Obviously, as the reviews go up, you get a better price, and obviously you got to improve the listing and it's very similar. You're going to improve the listing and you're going to improve the house. The two go hand in hand, just like you got to improve the product and the brand, and then you got to improve the listing, and then the reviews is like the main thing. Honestly, with Airbnb, that's the biggest thing that moves the needle.
So do you ever recommend to your clients, here are products you should sell? I mean, you're giving reports back saying, you're making this money and this is going well, but here's what you're missing out on. Make these products. Do you do that?
So when I'm working with a client, since I'm looking at the competition a lot, I'll always tell them, look, this guy, you can see everything very clearly on Amazon. Like you could see how much people are selling. So I'll tell, wow, this guy over here, our competitor, he just came out with this product and look how it's selling. It's selling great. Can you make this? And then we'll go over how many colors you would need to have in it, or how many units you would need to bring in to start, depending on how hard or how easy it is. But for sure, I definitely, and a lot of times I'll tell people, don't go into this product. It's very competitive. You're going to end up having to spend tens of thousands of dollars to build it up, unless you want to do that. But if not, there's a lot easier products that you can get into.
Like, hey, this is a big $100,000 investment, or hey, I think you can do this relatively cheaply to get some traction. Is that
exactly? Yeah, for sure.
So another related question, and I wrote all these up before, so I hope it's not driving you crazy. But,
I wish you would have shared. You should have shared them with me.
Oh no, I want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, we want to see how fast you can react.
I want to just have it like this, rapid fire. So another one is, fulfilled by Amazon, FBA. Are most of the people you work with having things fulfilled by Amazon or not, or is it a mixed bag?
Everyone is doing fulfilled by Amazon.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, you make a lot more sales. It's trusted. I just figured. Even if there's ever an issue, like let's say you're fulfilling it yourself, and let's say the customer says, "I didn't get it." Maybe they did get it, maybe they didn't. Whatever it is, the neighbor got it by mistake. They're going to tell you, "Oh, I didn't get the item," and you're going to say, "Oh, here's tracking number that says it was delivered," and they're still going to say, "I didn't get it." And then they could just file a thing against you and get their money back. Mm-hmm. But with Amazon, if Amazon tracked it, they're responsible. Okay, if the customer said he didn't get it, take it up with Amazon. I still got my sale. Amazon will reimburse them, or they'll make UPS pay out of their pocket, or whatever it is. But you always do FBA. You'll make more sales.
Yeah.
It's safer.
It sounds like it's so hard to beat the FBA model. Maybe like if you're a massive company, you might be able to have the logistics. I mean, how big do you think you'd have to be to kind of compete with that? Pretty big, or?
You have to. One guy that I do consulting for, he does around $50 million a year, and he sells very big products. And he does it himself just because he doesn't want to. His products are giant. They're like very heavy, and so he doesn't want to send them. Yeah, he doesn't want to send that into Amazon.
And he's doing 50 million through Amazon with these heavy products.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're expensive products.
I would assume he also has off sales too, off Amazon, or
No, they do off Amazon also, but I'm just focused on
no, no, I
I'm
understand.
talking about Amazon alone. Yeah.
So that's an example and so I think that's where maybe some of these B2B companies may have an advantage, is that they do have good infrastructure for fulfillment, because that is what we have found with B2B companies, is they have generally sometimes great infrastructure for logistics, because that's how they built their business in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now, but they haven't digitized, right? Because historically, you call them up and you get 1,000 pair of jeans or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making that up, right? But that might be their competitive advantage, right?
They really got to see. They got to see how the like what is the competition doing? Are all the competitors who are making all the money in my industry, are they all doing FBA, or are there a few guys that are rocking it, shipping it themselves? If there's nobody that's selling it themselves and making good money, it's it doesn't look so good.
I'm
But if you
thinking
see,
more of these B2B products that maybe aren't being sold, right? Because I would imagine there's probably still a lot of B2B products, these heavier products that just aren't even on Amazon, is my guess.
yeah, people are scared to do that, so that's a very easy in. Yeah, that's why the guy doesn't need to do FBA, because people are scared to sell
No one
expensive
else is going
items.
to take the risk of sending $50 million of heavy equipment to Amazon.
Yeah, or even to get started, they just think, oh, I'm not going to sell stoves, or I'm not going to, I don't, whatever it is, they don't want to sell
these bigger items, these bigger logistical items that maybe going on LTL or freight could be a model there, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Does Amazon currently have any partner for things like white glove delivery, installation, that kind of thing?
Yeah, stove, refrigerator.
Yeah. They offer, they have like, you can sign up on their website and you could say that you're like I'm a furniture builder, and then they get the price, like I don't know if you bought things on Amazon, like when I buy things on Amazon. Yeah, so like I bought some chairs on Amazon the other day, and they were like, we can have somebody install these chairs for you, build these chairs for you for $400. I was like, no, I just did it in like an hour.
But seen
those. Yeah, they're expensive though. That's the reason I've never.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Is there a B2B piece to that though? That's kind of where I was going.
Because I definitely think the B2B side could make more sense.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense to me. So is there a B2B component to the white glove?
You stumped me on that one. That I'm not sure.
Well, I think it just depends on if they need to have the services people that sign up, to your point, right?
Yeah, I think
you have to have an HVAC guy that's like all the HVAC,
Yeah, why not actually? Yeah, no, for sure. Why? Yeah, no, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they be able to do that? You just sign up and you can service.
The thing is, if you're a B2B business, you could do both, right? If a lot of these B2B businesses sell the product and the services, you could be the guy on Amazon that you could sell. You could add yourself to the services.
Double dip.
I wonder if anyone's done that. Hope someone listening, tell us that, maybe someone will reach out to us. There's got to be.
I hope they do. I hope they do, because
product and then put themselves into the services to like do the stove or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, because a lot of people sell parts, right? I mean, I've seen so many people do this. They're selling parts. Those same companies often offer service, as they often do that themselves. But seeing all of this through Amazon, I haven't really noticed that. So if I bought a stove through, let's say, an industrial stove, like it's for my restaurant, right? If I found that on Amazon and bought it, would I be able to find somebody to install it, through that, or does they just dump it off and I have to find somebody else, right? So that I don't know yet. That's why I was really asking.
I would assume so, but I can't say for sure. But I'm pretty sure. Like, it makes sense that it would just be the same. You would be able to pick somebody, and also, why wouldn't you be able to double dip and sign yourself up as the person who installs it? The same people who sell the goods, they know how to install it. You could do both.
Yeah. So
can you buy Oh, go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, I would love to. We're kind of coming to the end here. How are you? How are people finding you and getting to you, or how are you? And obviously, you're doing this podcast, trying to get your knowledge out there. Is it mostly a network of people that are just have found you, or?
So really, thank God, it's really all word of mouth and just like people, like when I built up different listings for people and other people, wow, he built up this listing and he built up this listing, and just a lot of referrals. And now I've never been doing it, even though I've been on Amazon for 12 years. I just recently, about less than a year ago, maybe, started posting on LinkedIn, and like my videos, that like a lot of people love my videos because I go into a lot of details on things that people don't talk about. You know, a lot of people, they just talk about advertising. They don't talk about the organic ranks of things and how Amazon puts you and positions you in places. So like I just people have been reaching out through that, and hopefully through this podcast. But yeah, no real. I don't really no advertising like besides for that. Just putting my work out there in video format. And
so is that kind of like your case studies? Is like, here are my listings, because you know, for us, it's a lot of the websites we build are kind of like our case studies.
Yeah,
so it's almost like, you know, look, this is the #1 ranking for like garbage bags, or using that again, and you can kind of show
exactly.
people, yeah, I built all these listings.
Yeah, I let my work speak for me. You know, look what I did for this guy. Look what I saw, and I go very in depth and detail.
Do you have a number?
Nice.
Like how many #1 listings you have, or it's probably hard to quantify that because it depends on the search terms?
It's hard. It fluctuates a lot, but I have my underwear listing is killing it. You know, doing over $1 million a year. I have a knife. I have a kitchen knife that's doing actually 2 kitchen knives in 2 different colors. One of them is doing 20,000 a month. The other one's doing 30,000 a month, just from a single knife.
Wow.
Just yeah, it's a bunch of different. You know,
how much
I like to focus
on
on
Amazon since you started? Like, it must be, you know, tens of millions at this point, or you not directly, but contributed to, obviously, with all these.
I would have to calculate, but I'm saying from one account doing 20, and from another account doing another 20, another, like this. I'm already at 50. Yeah, it could be. I never even added that, by the way. I feel like I should definitely add that. I should definitely. It's good to know. I have no idea. But it probably adds up to a lot.
Well, you know, your approach really is one of the things that I've heard from a lot of other people who are successful is really the go small to go big approach, right? You know, you're focusing in on the product, you know, a very tight range of products, and owning it. You know, the idea that there are like these couple knives, for example, it doesn't have to be something that's like, you know, mind-boggling and complicated and thousands of this and thousands of that. It's really the focus, you know, it's the work.
Oh yeah, if people tell me like I want to list thousands of things, I tell them I don't want to, like I have to pick who I want to work with, you know what I mean? Like, because not everyone, the guy who's listing thousands of things and he has a limited budget, I know he's not going to succeed like that. I don't want to put my name behind that. It's all reputation. So I know this guy's gonna try to do everything at once, and he doesn't have the budget, or he doesn't have the manpower, or he doesn't want to pay to build those up. It's not going to end well. So I'm very specific about who I choose to work with, and I have to make sure that they want to grow it to a right size. And if the guy doesn't have enough inventory, for example, you can't really do anything. You're going to spend money on ads. You're going to invest in the listing. You're finally building up the momentum, and then you run out of stock. There's no point. Like, you have an item that we know is good. You have to have a nice amount of quantity of it. We build it up strong, and then you move on to the next one, and then you move on to, you know, step by step. You can't just do 1 million listings, and that's how people go bankrupt on Amazon.
Yeah, and it almost makes sense that there's a lot more profit to be had in a smaller number of high volume listings, because then you can ship pallets in one SKU, or, you know what I mean? Like, if you have to ship like 1 million different SKUs, like 5 of each, that's going to be really hard, right?
That's going to be very hard, and looking at each listing to see, oh, what's making me money, which losing me money is going to be hard, and managing ads for each one is going to be hard, and it's just a whole, it's a huge job. It's a huge job, and most people, they can't do that. It's not even the money thing. It's just like this. You have to really treat it like a baby. You have to really, like, you know, imagine, you know, you're creating a website. can't just say I'm going to create 1,000 websites right now, and you have to say, okay, I'm going to do this project. I have to make sure everything
It's
is
almost like
perfect with
each
this
listing
project.
is a website. I like the way you think about that. It's almost
Yeah,
like a good way
Yeah,
to-
that's well put. I like that.
has to be perfect. Has to
No,
be
yeah,
perfect.
you can't build 1,000 websites. I've probably built close to that, but that's over the course of 10 years with over 100.
Yeah.
So just a quick little bit of a wrap up here too. Are there any things about the future of Amazon or the next few years that you think we should just tell our listeners? I mean, things that you know of that they're going to have to think about, or is that not the way you look at it?
There's no telling with the future of Amazon. 12 years ago, I was like, I wonder how long Amazon is going to last. And maybe, like every time they change the algorithm, I'm like, oh my God, is it? Amazon might be coming to an end soon. This was 10 years ago. So Amazon is growing and growing, and B2B is growing so fast. Everyone should look into it and should really, if you're on other websites, why not be on Amazon? Like, there's so many people there. Don't only be on Amazon, but you should definitely be part of it.
Yeah, it should be part of your strategy.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
A lot of money.
Cool. Well, definitely, we'll love to have you back, and I'm assuming in a year or two there'll be even more information, more news about B2B.
Yeah.
The tiered pricing, I think that's a newer feature. Some of these request a quote, some of these B2B features I'm sure there'll be a ton more in a year or two, new features. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. You could set up tiers. You could have people request quotes. Who knows what's going to be next?
Cool.
All right, this is exciting. Well, this is we're coming to the end of episode 77, and thank you so much for being our guest today. This has been excellent, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Great.
Yeah, thank you.